Because if you say you can relate to punching bag, you can definitely relate to what you just talked about. And I've dated women with children before.
Facts. Dating women with children. That's what we talking about today on Candid.
Yeah.
Run away or stay. Nah. I come from a bunch of females in my family in general. A lot of them are single mothers. You know what I'm saying? And the one thing I noticed that I kind of hate is that they go from relationship to relationship to relationship. It's like, you got kids though. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta.
Or just put someone far away before they can even get close. Because they already have the ideal picture of what they want or they think is best.
Nah, that's not even what I'm saying though.
No, but I'm adding that on. I'm not saying that's what you're saying.
Because when you jump from jump to jump, right, you never actually heal fully, right?
Sure.
So you damage goods in a way.
I agree.
You pass that down to your children, in my opinion. I've seen it in so many scenarios. I'd be like, damn, just like my nieces and nephews.
You see it.
Like, I go extra hard and I try to, like, make sure I'm in their life. You know what I'm saying? Just because of that reason. Yeah. So it's just like, I feel like, well, when it comes to that single mom shit, you gotta take your time. Like, show them a little what she's doing already. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's a more of an intelligent woman type move. Oh, right. Y'all ready? Because I'm sweating like a mug as usual.
I can tell you.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it gets passionate, you know what I'm saying? We get talking.
Sure.
On Candid Talk because we like to keep it extremely funky. You know what I'm saying? We don't like all that PC and type censoring your talk.
Absolutely.
It's your host, Winta Harris, co-host,
Shawn White.
And today we got our beautiful guest.
Akeenya Germany.
Okay, Miss Germany.
All right, look at Germany.
Hey,
okay.
That's a big fact.
We finna see. How that go?
Single parenting and dating.
Can you do both?
That's a good question. That's pretty much the main thing that we kind of want to discuss or at least share an opinion about how you feel about it. Who want to start first?
But please, ladies first. I need to hear about this.
Fair enough.
Yeah, like I say, I'm confused because I've tried it and it's never worked. So maybe you can give me some insight.
I think so. I think it is doable, give and take, but you have to find somebody who's willing and can understand where you're coming from. And then everybody's situation is different.
So I know I got questions. Do you got something already or?
Nah, I just kind of want her to elaborate a little bit more. Like, so how, and are you dating right now?
No.
Okay. So when was the last time you dated as a single parent?
Tried to date as a single parent. Yeah, tried to date.
Okay.
Probably like a few months ago.
And what happened with that?
Or beginning of the year. It didn't work.
Wow, but was it because of being a single parent or was it something else?
No, it was because of something else.
Okay. So that's not stopping it. In other words, being a parent ain't stopping you. So all y'all be like, that's pretty much what she's saying. Am I right?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
But see, that's so interesting that I'm trying to still figure out that disconnect. But she could be like, yeah, I think you can date. Sure. And then you ask like, okay, so are you dating? No. So
I didn't read that, but I was gonna let it slide.
Right. It's a bit vague. I don't want to completely get into, you know what I'm saying, the perimeters or the actual details of why y'all two didn't work. But if you could just place it like one word without going too much into your business, why didn't it necessarily pan out?
It didn't pan out because he didn't want to be in a serious relationship. And
okay.
I did.
He didn't want to be in a serious relationship, or he didn't necessarily want to be an honorary stepdad?
No, he didn't want to be in a relationship, in a serious relationship.
Okay.
So.
Wait, before you go, got a question. Was that already discussed before y'all started dating?
Actually, it was discussed, but he had a whole different outcome. It wasn't until later when he decided. At first, he was down for it. He was cool. It was cool. But then afterwards, I guess when we started getting, more serious and stuff, afterwards, it was just like...
Too much for him?
He didn't want to do it.
I'd like to know what he defined and what you define as a serious relationship.
That's a good question.
Because that means different things to different people.
Fact.
So let me ask you this. What would you define as a serious relationship?
I'm the only one you're entertaining. I'm the only one outside of family and whatnot. I'm the only one you're spending time with. You know, we're making plans together for now and, you know, to the future and what we want to build and, you know, things like that.
So when did you two meet?
Where we met?
No. When did you two meet? Because you said that was this year, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so when did you two meet?
January.
Y'all met in January. Did y'all form a friendship or y'all just automatically started romantically dating, I should say?
No, I say we just started talking. It was just talking, getting to know each other for a little while, and then, you know, then it was, you know, starting to hang out and, you know, and chill and stuff like that. So it didn't go, it went kind of fast, but then not too fast at the same time. If that makes sense?
No, it does not.
Yeah, I didn't.
You know what? I do notice that about a lot of dating and like relationship, because people don't necessarily take the time to get to know one another. Because it's a bit difficult when you're busy, and especially if you have, you know what I'm saying, like children. You can't always have time to, like, you know, give somebody else that attention. That's why I feel like you can't do it, in my opinion, because you have to dedicate so much time to your child.
Well,
so
share your experience, man. Let's.
Sure.
I'm saying where you coming from with it.
Okay.
That's our experience. I mean.
No, I just feel like, you know, I mean, I grew up seeing it firsthand because my mom was a single mother. You know what I mean? And I just know, with everything that I had going on as a child, even when I was getting older, from basketball practice to taekwondo and all these different things and trying to keep up with my academics, she was always like around me and had to be around me.
Make it more personal. Have you dated a single mother?
I have.
Share that experience.
Sure. So I would say that experience, without getting to other details, just the main details, just that same thing that I'm saying. She never really had time. And I had to respect that. You know what I mean? Because at the same time, like, when I see how our generation moves around and their ideologies and their character and stuff like that, I really feel like it's because their parents didn't have the time or didn't take the time to raise them a certain way when it goes to their morals and whatnot. So who would I be to be upset or say, hey, why can't you make time for me? I know why you can't make time for me. So I have to make the decision just as a man to be like, you know what? Your son, your daughter, or your son and your daughter needs you more than me. That's why it didn't work out.
Can I share one?
Please!
Can I share one?
Please!
Can I share one?
Please!
Because I feel like I'm in the middle of everybody. I feel like, literally. But I feel like what you're saying of how she wouldn't have time for you, I've noticed it on the opposite end. Like, it turns me off when a woman is putting too much time into me when she has children.
Okay.
So I'm like, because I'm a disciplinarian anyway. I don't have children, but I've raised my nieces and nephews pretty much. You know what I'm saying? So I pay attention to that shit. So if I see a kid that's pretty much, they fight for attention when you have company anyway, because they're like, hey, they see that the attention is going somewhere else.
Right.
So I find it a little bit more difficult to date someone that is giving me all of the attention and ignoring their children. Sure. You know what I'm saying? Because that's not even somebody that I want to, I have no value for that person, because I consider, you know what I'm saying, a future woman in my life that'll be fucking able to take care of the children. Right. You know what I'm saying? And if you're going to ignore the children for me, what else you going to ignore the children for?
Very, very true. Yeah.
You know
No, I mean, and not in a sense, not
thing.
always having time, but I'm saying just as a bachelor, being a single man without children,
Feel you.
I have time to come and go as I please. You know what I mean? A single mother does not have that same option. So that's what I mean. And I feel like you have to be close with someone, not even from a, you know what I'm saying, physically intimate standpoint, but you have to spend time with them and whatnot to keep that relationship strong. Only texts and calls and FaceTimes can only, you know what I mean, do so much at a certain point. That's how I feel.
What do you feel about that, Keith?
That's absolutely true. Or I believe that as well too. But then at the same time, that's when the whole point of you have to find that person that, you know, might not have kids or do have kids, but that other person to be able to, like you said, understand that. You know, like I tell, if I do date or I meet somebody that I'm thinking about dating, I let them know right from the beginning. My son is with me 24/7. Somebody asks me out on a date, 9 times out of 10, my son might just be with me. He don't get dropped off anywhere. I don't trust everybody with my child. Very rarely. No, my son is with me. So it's either gonna be me, you, and my son, or it won't be at all. You know, and you have to find somebody that's actually be able to, okay, well, I get this, you know, I'm doing this by myself, not really having too much help. So, you know, that's where it comes in for somebody to understand and also be like, you know, well, wanting to be around or wanting a family or, you know, wanting different things or a serious relationship. If they don't want a serious relationship, that me and my child won't work for them. It won't work for them because I don't need men in and out of my son's life like that. He got one that's in and out and do whatever. He don't need anybody else. So it's either you gonna be here, you gonna stick with us, and we can do it, or not. Don't even come my way.
Okay, well, all I'm saying is she sound like she got something on her shoulders. You know what I'm saying? Alright.
Be honest up front and keep it real. To be honest, and not most people, they don't do that anymore. Like, with me, I'm going to let you know where I come off at the very beginning. Now, if you still want to talk to me and you still want to date me, you have been warned. So I don't want to hear nothing later on down the line. You've been warned. But a lot of people not honest. You're not honest anymore. And then they change. And then you just be like...
I feel like fake is the new reality.
That is a point.
That's a fucked up thing, right? Fake is the new reality. That's what it feels like. And that's what makes it hard for dating in those situations right there. Alright, so another crazy scenario, right?
Okay.
Like we say with fake and with dating. Mm-hmm. So I've dated a few, like, ladies, all of a sudden, I didn't even know they had kids until I came over. Shit like that.
Sure.
How do you do that? Like,
let me bring this up, right? Because I feel like people are like so young. You know something that a woman once told me, one that I tried to date with children? She said, I don't think I could date you or this can go anywhere because you don't have children. So you can't relate to my struggle. Okay? Now, I'm like...
That's a bummer.
I mean, yeah, but to a certain degree, I understood. But you have to notice that a lot about dating in our generation right now, everybody has at least one child. I know a lot of people that I went to high school with have at least one, if not more than one. Some of them didn't wait. So my whole question is, that seems like a deal breaker for a lot of people, especially me. Because you just said, this is how it's gonna be. You can either get with it or get lost. And let's say you only meet men who feel like, well, I'm not with that. So you have to constantly wait for a man to either accept and conform to what you want, or you just not gonna date him, that's it?
That's why I'm still single. What?
Okay. Because I'm just like, I just know from probably the generation before us, most of them would wait until they've had their families and been married and have certain life experiences, and then they have children. And then once they're grown up, it's easy for them to date then, because there is no relating to a struggle. Because your children are grown, their children are grown, y'all can be one happy family now.
Yes, it would be looking from before I had my child and after. Yeah, it is a lot easier to date, you know, without a child. But then when you have a child, I mean, I really don't see why you can't, because that, once again, that goes back to that person that's understandable. Like, even in your situation where she said it wouldn't, because you wouldn't understand, like, how long were y'all dating or whatnot, or did you even try? Because you have some people that's willing to try and to be there. It's just whether or not, if that single mother is being receptive enough to let you be that person.
More times than none, they don't. But see, that has something to do with something before me, and that's why I said it'd be impossible for me to date anyways. It's rare, and I'm not saying that it don't exist. Shout out to all the viewers, you know what I mean? But for the woman, you know what I'm saying, to have a at least cordial relationship with the child's father. I'm saying any woman that I've met with at least one child, it's never been just completely, yeah, we co-parent, he's a great father, daughter. I've never heard of that. Like I said, I'm not saying it don't exist, but I'm just saying more times than not, from women that I've met, they throwing shade and I feel like because they can't even heal from that one failed relationship that didn't go the right way, or they can't co-parent, they can't move on with me. That's how I truly feel.
I feel like that's just relationship damage instead of just the...
True, but it's a whole different animal because maybe at some point that one failed relationship could heal, but certain ones with children, that relationship can't heal because that child's still going to be around.
Well, when you think about it, that's the reason why I'm saying that's a relationship problem because that kid, it reminds them of that person. So it is still related to...
Right, but I'm saying it'll still be more difficult because that relationship still has a strain. Like if a single mom is
because that mom is not over that partner that made it with them. So that's what I'm saying. Like,
but I'm saying it would be easier if they didn't have necessarily a child.
Well,
does you make sense?
Think about it like this. Now, if they didn't have this child and they still stuck on that person, you're still gonna have the same issues. Because I've had that multiple times with women without children. They try to treat me like the last dude. I'm like, whoa, I ain't that nigga.
Yeah,
you got me fucked up. I'm saying like. So that's what it sounds like. It's just like if you remove the child, it's still the same damage still there.
No. I'm
like, she's still gonna treat you like that other dude until she heals from the other dude. It's not even about the child. The child is actually probably gonna make it last longer. Like that pain is because every time I look at like this, I know a few people like every time I look at him, remind me of that nigga.
Right.
So it's just like that's a whole different scenario. But I personally, from listening to that, I can't say that's just the child. You know what I'm saying? It's probably she need to heal a little bit more beyond that person.
No, but she can heal. I don't know if I'm breaking my point completely down. Why you still missing me on this?
I don't feel like I'm missing you. Did you get something different?
No, it sounds like you're saying they're equal or whatnot. But I'm saying they're not.
What's equal exactly?
I'm talking about if a woman didn't have a child with the man that she's not seeing anymore. Yeah, it's going to take time for it to heal or whatnot. That's a whole different like emotional ball game that she'll have to deal with it in due time. But when you still have a child that you have to take care of for at least the next 18 years, I'm saying that makes it more difficult because it's the constant struggle of having to deal with a whole different responsibility that wasn't there before that relationship, which is why I say it'd be probably easier to heal if she didn't have a child than it would if she did with a child. That's what I'm saying. Now, if you're saying you disagree with that, then
we
so
literally
be
just
it.
said the same thing in a way.
Until she heals from the other dude. It's not even about the child. The child is actually probably gonna make it last longer.
That last part, that's what I just said. I literally just said that.
Okay.
But the first part, what I'm saying, like as far as dating the person itself, what I'm saying doesn't relate is the way she's going to react to you or respond to you based off of that last person. Right. That's based off of her connection with that last person. Until she heals from that, it doesn't matter if a kid is there or not.
No.
She's still connected.
No, I agree with that.
It's just like habits. If I have relationship habits, let's say if I'm in a relationship with her and I'm used to somebody cooking for me, all of a sudden a new person don't cook, I'm flipping at yo, you ain't shit. Because I'm used to something. It's a habit. So now we switch the scenario. Now she's used to that person that was providing or maybe with that child. Only that person is allowed to treat that child that way. If you trying to step in what you were saying, if they won't allow it, it's because it's still that connection with the other person. They haven't set that free yet.
I agree.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I said. But we may not have connected with the words, but it's literally the same shit. It's based on scenario.
So my answer is still no.
You
can't date someone with child. At least for me, that's a whole deal breaker. And that takes a good demographic out or whatnot. But yeah, I couldn't do it, and I won't do it.
Do you think it's possible dating with child? Cause you with child. How do you feel?
I mean,
you saying no? You saying?
I feel like it can be. It's just whether or not you meet that right person. Cause you have some men out there that's like, oh, you got kids. Okay, because for the longest, like, I shut myself.
Oh, you got kids? How many you got?
I have one. I don't
know. Oh, all right. You got a kid.
I'm like,
No, I only have one. I only have one. But, you know, whether you have a kid or not, because for the longest, in my head, I was like, I'm gonna be single for the rest of my life. I have a child by myself. Ain't nobody gonna want me with no child, with no stretch marks, with no baby tummy. Nobody's gonna want that. No, and then I had to get to myself and be like, bump that. I'm beautiful with these stretch marks, with the baby stomach. What? Oh, pay me.
And
it's like, you know, like, and my son is a blessing. So if don't nobody want to be in our life because of I have a child, but then baby, you wasn't meant for me no way because I want more kids. And if one is a problem, because I can make it work. I was brought up differently than I can't speak for other women. I can just speak for me. I was brought up how to maintain a household, and your kids, the bills, all of that. I was brought up that way. So I can give my son the attention that he needs and make sure my husband's on point. That's never been a problem. That, I can honestly say, never been a problem. It's just finding that person that's actually willing to, okay, she has a child. Let me see how I can help or be a plus in what she's already have established or what he already has established. Because women was supposed to be built to be the man's helpmate. So, but then, vice versa. I mean, like, together. We can make this work together if you're willing to. That's just how I feel about it. If you're willing, you can make anything work.
So everyone you've met thus far was not willing, is what you're telling me?
No. My last person that I was talking to was fine. Matter of fact, he had a child. Well, he has a child himself. Was fine, but then after a while, it came to the point where being in a serious relationship is something that he didn't want anymore. Why? I kept getting a whole bunch of bogus, stupid answers that is not even worth repeating.
Polygamy.
Or whatever.
But see, that's what I want to focus in on that, because I'm like, okay, did it have anything to do with you having a child, or was it just you?
It could have been just me. Cause to this day, he loves my son. That's why it could have just been
the attitude. I knew it was bad.
It could have. Well, I don't know because he still blow up my phone talking about can you come back. So I don't know. So I don't know.
Well, hey,
it's been a minute.
Wait, Quita.
Hey, you got it going on.
So I mean, it could have just been me, but what you see, then what are we doing?
Yeah.
Is basically what I was saying. I wasn't trying to be cocky because Lord knows I ain't a man, but still.
Yeah. But
you into polygamy?
Well, I'll take that as a no.
Candid talk. Polygamy.
Get out.
So that last 7 that we was talking? No.
Gotcha.
So it was just a wrap up of how you felt that she comes with all of this and I'ma be caring, nurturing, and this and that. If your mama's still alive, go to your mama for that.
I would say that too. I would.
Wait a minute, what?
I still feel personally, dating someone with children, I cannot do it. It is impossible. It's too much drama. It's a headache. Don't ask me to do something that the individual that you shared a child with did not. And that's not my problem. I don't feel bad about that. Just like women who talk to men who have children and say, I can't do it either. I didn't create that family, so I'm not about to just infiltrate yours and make it better.
Dang.
Wow.
That's as blunt as it goes.
Wow.
Respond to that.
Wow.
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 Well, everybody has their own opinion.
That's a hell of an opinion.
There's a hell of an opinion. Wow, that's all I can say to that. But as far as, from my perspective being a single mother, I don't see why it's not possible to date with having a child, whether it's a man and a child or a woman and a child. I think actually it will be, it might be a little trying at times, but what relationship isn't? What whether it's a friendship, whether it's an entanglement, or whether it's just an actual in a relationship or a friendship, it's always going to be disagreements, agreement to disagree, or however you want to do it, it's always going to be there. It's always going to be a challenge. It's always going to be something that you work towards to make better or to be better. Even in a relationship with yourself, you want yourself, you're going to be the person to improve within yourself, whether you're with somebody or not. It's still going to be a challenge regardless. So
that's true.
It goes back to
that's
point where you find somebody that's actually willing to try.
But see, you're comparing a 4-way relationship to a 2-way relationship, or like you said, a relationship with yourself.
No, I was giving different examples of relationships.
No, I'm sure, but I'm saying I don't equate those because it's you, your child, and someone else. Those are completely different problems than just us focusing on problems and issues. That's how I feel. If you say it's not, that's fine. But just like you said a few minutes ago, I got a whole another human to factor in and da-da-da. I only want to focus on us as humans. And that's how I want to do it.
And that's perfectly
fine. Sure.
So you need only single, and you need somebody that's focused and serious.
Yes.
Gotcha. So that's one hell of a series right there, man. I ain't gonna lie. Because like I said, I'm in between, raised by a single mother, but at the end of the day, she would not let anybody that was below what she felt she deserved in her life. You know what I'm saying? So, to each his own. But at the end of the day, this is Candid Talk. Y'all let us know how y'all feel in the comments.
Before we get up out of it, like I could say,
this man interrupting.
My bad. You know what? That may have came off cold to a certain degree, and it was. But at the same time, like I said, we all have decisions to make, and unfortunately, I'm just disappointed in a lot of people who decided to stay in relationships longer than they should have been, and the result of that is they had a child with someone they shouldn't have, and then it's a never-ending cycle because now you're just raising your child on your own and expecting somebody else to come in, but they can't. So now those projections or whatnot and those generational curses come onto your child as well. And it's a never-ending cycle. I've seen it generation after generation. I'm not saying that's going to be the exact concept that happens or whatnot, but I've seen it too much. So it is what it is.
You want to wrap it up? Yeah, like 8 times. Hell no! You wrap it up.
I thought that was the first time I interrupted you. My bad.
I'm going to play this back, and I'm going to say all the times you interrupted. Interrupted muff right here. Do you want to interrupt and say anything before we go? Y'all make sure y'all follow Key Love 98.
91.
I was close. Gracious Gift
3.
There's
an underscore in there. That's right. You gonna put it at the bottom. It's all good.
You know what?
Yeah.
Give me credit. I tried.
You did.
This is a Big Head production. This series is Candid Talk, where we can keep it real, be blunt. Just let us know how you feel in the comments. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe, all of that below. And we out. Until next time. Peace. think that was good enough for me.
Yeah.
Hold up, but let me say. Something.